When you find yourself on the wrong side of the empire, whether that be on purpose because you're feeling a little bit rebellious or you've just decided that you've had enough, you'll probably end up here in Grim Hex. And whether that be in a party of yourself, friends and company, and you've decided to take out a ship definitely fitted and kitted for a party of more than just yourselves. Or whether or not you decided to go at it alone, and you've decided to leave this dark, dingy place of, well, nowhere else to go, for the mean streets and open space that is the entire verse, all in your little one-seater craft. Being a little bit rebellious and fighting back is a story as old as time. Some say it's a story from a far, far galaxy. I don't know about you, but I think it's been intended from the very, very start, and for some reason, it's absolutely broken. This little place between some asteroids in space around Yella should be familiar to almost anyone as old as me, from the 2.6 era and onwards, or anyone that might, like I said, have just found themselves on the wrong side of the law. Grim Hex is the home for criminals, whether you like it or not, and contrary to the title you've just seen at the very beginning of the video, crime does in fact pay, quite well actually. So it's a little odd that for some reason, CIG have made criminality and criminal gameplay probably the worst type of gameplay of all. And that's the topic of today's video. Why is criminal gameplay so busted, broken, but also so profitable? What is it that CIG have done and what could they do to actually make criminal gameplay viable? If you look at the past, you'll see that gameplay like this has always been around. It's been around longer than most of the players that are probably watching this video right now. Criminal gameplay is here to stay, and I don't really know if it's going to change much from the current direction for a very long time. In this video, I'm going to point out some of the biggest flaws in being a criminal, and some of the biggest flaws in criminal gameplay as a whole. I'm also going to point out some of the issues that just exist because of criminal gameplay and how criminal gameplay is implemented in Star Citizen. That includes bounty hunting and how bounty hunters go after criminals, which means you, those of you that don't actually like criminals, those of you that want to capture them and keep the UEE and the spaces surrounding Crusaders safe. And so I guess the natural starting point of this conversation then is the very dictating factor that controls our criminal gameplay, what I like to call the red ring of death. It's not certain death, that's for sure, but it's definitely death of a decent gameplay. Unfortunately, this basic and simplistic red ring is something that we've had from the early days. Basically, as soon as 3.0 was introduced, and this game that we know was multiplayer and massive in a sense. The red ring of death basically just indicates what sort of crime stat you have, 1 to 5. If you're a low-level criminal at level 1, nowadays you can just get rid of that by simply going to a kiosk inside of some habitat area and just paying off whatever fine you owe. Unfortunately though, if you're like me and you've got a nice healthy criminal stat of 4 or maybe 5, somewhere near the top end, well, you're going to find that you start to get chased down by bounty hunters. Oh, that was close. How do I get out of here? That's the ground. Where's not the ground? There's not the ground. Run. Run! Whoa, whoa, no, I'm being destroyed. And when this happens, if you're like me and you can't really turn around and fight in the ship that you're flying, well, you might just end up having to run. Frankly, that's not gameplay. That's avoidance of gameplay. That's avoiding gameplay entirely. And unfortunately, that's how the game's been designed. By SIG themselves. On the one hand, it's because of the bounty hunting system. It's as simple as that. Because the bounty hunters get this infinitely intelligent tracking system that allows them to see you no matter where you are at whatever time they want, your current location, and pretty much be able to suss from where you're going to be, it makes it very difficult to even behave as a criminal. We know, however, that this will change. There's no point dwelling on the bounty hunting mechanics. I obviously think there are improvements, and I'll talk about those a little bit later on. But another side effect of unfortunate criminality is that it just pays so well that you're almost missing out on the best revenue and some of the best experiences Star Citizen has to offer because of the systems SIG have in place, if you do decide to play that avenue. And of course, I can hear some of you screaming at me already, but that is criminal gameplay. It's supposed to be dangerous. Yes, it is supposed to be dangerous to be a criminal, and that's why I have no problem with you getting bounty hunters coming after you when you do hit those high level of crime stats. My problem is more that the actual crime stats themselves are too easy to get. The missions exist, they are there, they're put in by the devs, they're designed by the game development team, so no one's going to be able to argue to me that for some reason you shouldn't be doing criminal gameplay. No, the missions exist, getting a crime stat is part of game design, but I don't think it's part of mission design. There are some exciting missions, like the array hack jobs. Every single time you go to one of these locations, arbitrarily, you will get a trespassing crime stat. This is because the way the game works, you have areas set up in meshes, and those big meshes, almost like domes, surround an entire encompassing area. When you enter that area, you are going to get tagged. The longer you stay in that area, the stronger that tag becomes, until eventually it activates the crime stat. And as soon as that's activated, that's it. Trespassing as a whole is definitely a very interesting gameplay idea, but I don't think trespassing should give you a crime stat. I think that trespassing should be the underlying system that pins to bounty hunters and to other law enforcement agents your current location. Every single time you enter what would originally be a trespassing zone, this is when it should ping your location to everyone that's trying to hunt you. That, I think, would be the quickest and dirtiest way to get a pretty good resolve out of this small little issue that I have with the trespassing system. Because otherwise, it actually makes all those missions, like the ones I previously mentioned, the array hack job, etc., completely null and void. There's no point going to those missions because it takes too long to get there, I have to get out of my ship and put myself in very vulnerable positions, and it's just not fun. I can't go to a location, for example, as an org member who wants to have a little fight with his org mates to, get rid of crime stats. Let's take down the comm array, I think. No, because I end up trespassing on the comm array net gets me a crime stat, and therefore I can't join in with my friends. It's extremely tedious and time-consuming and game-breaking. It ruins a big aspect of the enjoyable and playable game as a whole. There are good reasons to have trespassing, and I think this could maybe be limited only to very specific locations, like maybe security depots at the most. Do I think that every single comm array and satellite in space should have a trespassing net? No, I don't. Taking down a comm array or a satellite is intended gameplay as well. It allows you to commit crimes without being seen. It allows you to wander and exercise your mobility without the risk of being spotted by your bounty hunters for every little movement you make, thanks to their godlike ability to track you. Now, let's just say you've decided to be a bit more obnoxious when it comes to getting a crime stat, and like me, you've decided to make the most of your time and get the best revenue source possible from your time investment. Being a criminal definitely pays well, and this is why whenever I seriously need to grind out cash, I'll hop in a quick fighter like the Buccaneer, head out to do some silencing jobs, and take out those comm sentries that hang out in a few precarious spots. Every single mission that lasts about 4 minutes or so pays 27,500 Alpha UEC. Now that's loads of money. Unfortunately, that fun is taken away from you if you decide you've had enough. Let's say you don't want to go to prison because that's boring, and you just want to get rid of your crime stat properly. One of my major and my probably biggest gripe when it comes to crime stats is how you actually get rid of them. Not by asking your friend to shoot you and for them to claim the bounty and split it with you, because that puts you in Klesha for maybe 30 minutes. No, when you want to get rid of your crime stat, you have to choose what you want to do. Whether you go to Korea, whether you go to one of the many security outposts on a moon somewhere, maybe even the one on Hurston itself, the planet, you have to go to one of these sites and hack into the computer terminal. So long as you've got a hacking chip that you may have acquired from Grim Hex or somewhere else, you can go to one of these terminals inside one of these security depots and hack away your crime stat. That sounds simple enough, I hear you say, but it isn't. Trust me. No. A long time ago, the developers thought it was a smart idea to make every single minor infraction that you perform as a criminal its own separate entity. What sort of maniac thought this was a great idea? It brings me to the similar problem I have with Klesha. It's lots of things to do, but none of them are fun. I can sit here in front of this computer for, I'm shitting you not, 30 minutes, and I'll probably only still be halfway through clearing my crime stat. All the while, watching my back for a bounty hunter, or maybe just an NPC that decides to randomly spawn, that might come around and kill me, and basically make the entire effort completely wasteful. At the end of the day, time is money. Again, like I said, if you want to be a criminal, it does pay well for your time investment. The problem is, when you decide to stop being a criminal, there is no such forgiveness from the devs. They do not care, it seems. They don't care about gameplay, they don't care about game design, and they sure as heck don't care about fun or even realism. I don't think it's realistic that you would have to stand manually in front of a computer to hack it yourself when the chip that you've inserted did all the hard work of getting in for you. Doesn't make any sense. I think the developers need to completely rewind back to how things used to be, and every little infraction needs to count towards its own subcategory. So when you're in this little menu, you can get rid of an entire subcategory of maybe homicides, for example, and do it all at once. I don't see any good reason at all, not for gameplay, not for fun, not even for realism, that might include the reason as to why you might want to have individual infractions counted individually over and over and over and over and over and over in the system. It makes no sense. It's just tedious and extremely frustrating. I don't want people getting confused. I still want being a criminal to have punishments. If I get caught by a bounty hunter or just by law enforcement, I should go to jail. I do want it to be difficult to get rid of my crime stat. So instead, developers, if you're listening, I propose this. Cut in half the amount of security depots that you have, and obviously keep Korea, because it's the most exciting. Add those subcategories that I mentioned earlier. Remove the infraction for trespassing so that I can get around and do criminality without always getting seen by radar. Because that would again make being a criminal more exciting, and it would implement some challenge when it comes to taking down comrades that might obscure what I'm doing. At the end of the day, people will know when I go to a location to take down the comrade, because that in itself actually provokes a mission to occur for those players that are looking to repair those comrades. It's a great way to actually involve other players in gameplay naturally. It's completely in-world, and it happens already. There's just the systems in place don't facilitate for it. They actually get in the way and obstruct it. I'd actually like it if my friends were able to hack my crime stat away for me, whether that be with me online or not. Just have a database that's actually accessible. At the end of the day, I believe these changes would actually improve the entire game as a whole, as well as being a criminal. You could maybe adjust slightly the payout for criminal gameplay so it's about on par with what you get for being a normal, regular citizen. And at the end of the day, as long as they don't reduce the amount of opportunity, well, there's always going to be someone you can fight as a criminal, bringing what would otherwise be balance to an otherwise unbalanced ecosystem and environment for gameplay. Look, I want to thank you guys for being here with me today. It's absolutely fantastic to have you guys participate down in the comments below, especially if you liked the video. Even if you didn't, let me know why in the comments down below. And as well, if you have something to say, something to add, a point that maybe I didn't point out, maybe in addition to my ideas that you think would actually be a better or more superior solution, let me know again down below. I'm so happy and thrilled to have you here for the ride, for what is a fantastic journey, for what is Star Citizen. So until next time, bye-bye for now. Oh, and yeah, my referral code, use it if you're going to get the game. If you've been enjoying it and you're looking to invest, you've come to the end of Free Flight and you want to get the game, support the cause, you know what to do. Use the referral code. It's just a great way to support me and get yourself a few extra little goodies. Go check out the live streams as well. I might even be live right now when you're watching this. Again, I'll see you in the next